Okay, so now we'll continue to refine our sketch. Make sure to curl the fingers. It's real easy to want to draw them rectangular and side by side, and that's just never looks good. There's only a few artists I've ever seen that can draw extremely straight aligned fingers and it somehow works. I can't do it. I have to try to make those curve around and round the knuckles. And I heard another artist say one time, when drawing fingers, just draw like little interlocking peanut shapes. So you get that little kind of bump or interlocking bones, really, but he described them as peanut shapes like this. And it made sense. It kind of stuck with me. So it's funny how those little tips you get from other artists resonate with you and become part of your thought process as you do this. I still don't know what I want to do here. This might be just anatomy. Because again, I really like asymmetrical attributes. Plus it makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to match things up. And it just sounds lazy, but I actually think it looks better. It just coincides with my laziness. All right, so let's say something like that. Some texture on the hilt or handle. Just playing around with different shapes here just to kind of explore some ideas. I'm not sure if I like that, but we'll see. So there we go. So we've got kind of this once over, things that I can look at now that there's some design in here. And I could say, okay, what do I really want to change about this character, this shape, this massive monster? I do want to add even more information to the back here. I just feel like he's going to be this huge character, and he's going to have this lat that just is like really, really wide. And so I feel like that's got to be adjusted. Or I need to adjust other proportions, like moving the chest and the center of the sternum there or whatever, and move that over and out. So that might have to happen as well, because I don't feel like I can add any more to the back here. It's getting a little bit extreme. But little things like that. So I also feel like the leg needs to come out. The anatomy here needs to be much wider. So hopefully you can see, just because you draw the silhouette doesn't mean that it's, every part of it's a winner. But it can be a very great way to get ideas on the page rather quickly. And really explore different character concepts. I absolutely love it. So what we're going to do now is head over to the next lesson. Okay, so we can continue to refine this, and again, we can soft erase this in a way by just painting in white. Actually, let's make sure that the line transparency is set. Painting in white, and that'll essentially be like a soft erase. Push all this information back. Now keep in mind, this is really the way that you're going to approach it more or less for painting regardless. At some point you're going to want to add some color, and that's where keeping this intact works. If not, if you just wanted to turn this into a sketch, you could turn this off, keep soft erasing and redrawing, and then set it to multiply, because it's basically just going to turn into a line drawing at that point. So whatever you're after, there's ways to do it. But in this case, I'm still trying to preserve the edge. So I'll clean it up as I go. So yeah, so now with drawing inside of here again, I just want to keep refining these ideas and change any shapes as need be. I'm almost picturing like these are a bit more random than just clean spikes. Maybe even try a random edge, almost like teeth from different beasts he's defeated, something like that. It's fun to think about the the ideas behind all of this, not just simply drawing whatever you think looks cool, or definitely not whatever you just think you can draw well. That's probably the biggest problem that you can fall into, is drawing things that you just know you can draw, so you don't try anything new. And that's actually one of the reasons why I really like this way of creating, because the silhouette is so quick and so creative, essentially, and then you kind of figure it out from there. So it helps you break out of that mental rut of drawing, things that you just always draw because you're confident with them and you can do well with them. I think that's about when we stop growing. So it's you want to be careful of that. So trying to figure out how I want this piece. I think I want this to come over, have another material, and then you know, maybe a strap or a band like this, and then some cloth material, something like that anyways, and then maybe a bigger ridge right here. So again, now I'm just working into all these forms and trying to make sure they make sense, what I want to see. Some kind of stretched material across there should be good. And something else that I noticed is his arm just doesn't feel nowhere large enough. As I study the character's size and proportions, I just feel like this leg still needs to come out, this arm does. So I'm going to take this and just basically distort this into place. So neat thing about arms and legs and any connection points, it's pretty easy to just grab the next segmented area if the character is segmented. Command X, Command V, Command Shift T to get a distort, and you can grab each one of these points and really widen it out. Something like that. Just hit OK. Then I'll just connect this and clean up that edge at the same time. So you see, all while we do this, we're getting more crisp artwork and just making corrections as we go. Yeah, I like that better. I just feel like, especially this arm looks so large by comparison. Bring his tricep out, kind of overly, actually I think I'm going to bring it up. Up and out. And maybe bring this out some more as well. We got to compensate for this material that would be over this massive arm. So we got to make sure that it looks like it would fit, that it would go over that area. So something like that. And remember to lock that again. Okay, so a lot of people might not, you know, really value this type of process because it does have steps. And, you know, a lot of times when you have steps, it's more that you could mess up and get wrong. But again, if you feel like you're just not getting as much creativity in your design, I really recommend exploring this. And that's where I found it to be the most helpful to me. Again, I can hit X and clean up some of these sketchy lines, but I'll end up just using these anyways. So not a big deal. And I feel like the chest is still a bit weird. So let me try to fix that. And also there's not really any information there. Like, is he just walking around with his shirt off? And, you know, I always feel like that's just not a great design, right? Like, no matter how tough somebody is, if they're a warrior, they probably need some pretty effective armor. So him walking around shirtless means he's either pretty darn tough, which would make you wonder why he needs anything else, or he's just a bit reckless. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't care. But you know, what we could do here is make this where it is a chest plate real easily by making it a shiny surface. So another little cheat there. It could just be a form fitting or a casted or molded or whatever it is. But it's made, it reminds me of Sir Lancelot in the old King Arthur movie, one of the depictions, if not maybe all of them, I don't know, but he wore this chest plate that was completely chromed out like that, and it was pretty neat. So we could do something like that, and maybe it's not even chrome, but it could be like a polished, like a black metal of some kind, whatever, if we need to change it for the color scheme of this character. So, and for here we can just, I don't know, figure out some kind of centerpiece. Not sure what I want to see there yet. Maybe a jewel or something, or a stone of some kind. I'm gonna keep picking at that. And you can see this is a bit crooked, so here's another way we could adjust something like that. It's real easy with these silhouettes to just grab an area, unlock it, Command Shift T, drag it down to the one side. Maybe drag this side up a little bit. And probably the easiest way is drop a layer in behind it real quick. Use a solid brush and connect the gaps. And while we're here doing that, might as well keep adjusting this leg that's still bothering me. And really, it probably makes more sense to just work on the existing layer, especially at this beginning stage of the illustration. So I probably wouldn't even worry about adding the extra layer, but you know, keep in mind layers are always there. If you feel a little bit unsure about what you're doing, use the layer, merge it together, things like that. So let's go ahead and conclude right here, head over to our next lesson and continue to add more detail to this sketch.